Now, even if you love cruising, I'm willing to bet that there's probably at least one or two things, maybe even more, that you wish that cruise lines would improve or just make a little bit better. Hi there, I'm Ilana from the website lifewellcruise.com. Welcome back to my channel. Now, have you ever gone on a cruise and at the end of the cruise you are asked to fill out a survey, and the cruise lines want to know what did you really like, what was amazing, but also what are the things that maybe could be improved upon? Well, what I did is I actually asked real cruisers, what are the things that you would like to see change on cruise lines? What are some of the things that could be improved upon? And I got some amazing comments that I'm going to share with you today. Now, what I did is I actually grouped them, well, basically into 10 main things that came up. And not only were there some genuine gripes, let's face it, we all sometimes have a little bit of gripes, but really there were some solutions as well and some really good suggestions. So I am going to share them with you today. Now, before I get started, there are two things. Firstly, please make sure to leave your comments below this video. I know sometimes people say that cruise lines watch these types of videos. I don't know, but if they do, at least your own voice will be heard. And of course, if you like this video, if you find it helpful, informative, or enjoyable in any way, then please do give this video a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Let's get started. Number one, better, cheaper Wi-Fi or internet on cruise ships. Now, many people said this is something that now is very important to them. And of course, all cruise lines are a little bit different. So on some cruise lines, it's going to be a little bit more expensive. Other cruise lines, it's going to be a little bit cheaper. But across the board, this is something that people are saying is very important to them now in a cruise. They don't want to pay so much money. It really is very, very pricey on cruise ships. And what some people were saying is if the Wi-Fi was a little bit more reliable, a little bit faster and less expensive, they would actually cruise more because they'd get a little bit of work done on the cruise ship as well. Number two, better laundry service options. Now, with so many people trying to pack a little bit lighter for their cruises, this is something that people are saying that they are noticing now. They would like to have some different laundry options. So whether it's ironing clothing, maybe in a laundrette or a laundry room on the cruise ship, and not all cruise ships have this, of course, or if they could send their clothing to be pressed, but it be less expensive than it is, they would like to be able to have that option. Now, something else is even the laundry services on cruises. I know a few years ago, I was on a longer cruise. I think it might have been like 11 or 12 days, and maybe on day 5 or day 6, we had a laundry bag special where it might have been, I can't remember if it was $25 or $35 for a bag of laundry, but at least this was really helpful, especially for a long cruise. And a lot of people are saying they would just like to see at least the cruise lines even have these laundry bag specials, just make it a little bit easier to have their laundry and really even their clothing to be pressed on a cruise. Number 3, this has to do with the crew, and it is actually in 2 parts. So part 1, people or cruisers are saying that they would love to see the cruise lines hire more staff on board because they're noticing that the crew is really, really working very, very hard. And in fairness, I do think that the cruise lines are trying to do that. They have been a little bit short-staffed. My understanding is it may be improving now. Please let me know what you are noticing if you've been on board recently. And part B has to do with the gratuities. Some people are saying that they would actually like to see gratuities to be included in the fare because it is so important to the crew and to their income or their salaries. Please let me know what you think. Of course, I asked this question and a few hundred people did answer, but I know we have thousands of people who watch these videos. So please let me know your own thoughts about that in the comments below. Number 4, improved ventilation in the casinos. Now, people did say that they are smelling too much of the smoke in the casinos. I have to agree. I've been on some cruise ships where I really did smell the smoke in the casino, even when I was not inside the casino. So personally, I prefer non-smoking casinos, or even just, I guess, if the ventilation was improved, that would be better. Please let me know down in the comments below. There are definitely some cruise lines that have gone non-smoking in their casinos, or other cruise lines that do it on some nights. Please let me know your own preference in the comments below the video. Number 5, now we've got a few kind of common gripes or issues that pretty much come up regularly. To be honest, I'm not sure how much is going to change on any of these or how much the cruise lines can really do, but I have a follow-up in number 6, which is actually a brilliant solution that somebody brought up. I've never heard it brought up before. So I'll just go through the kind of gripes that people would like to see improve. So one of them is, of course, the chair hogs. People would like to see that that's just monitored a little bit better, because sometimes people are getting up at like 6 a.m. in the morning putting out towels over several of the chairs on the pool deck. People don't really like that. Another one is the elevators, just that people would know that when you are getting onto an elevator, you first have to let people get off first. So maybe having signs that say that. Some people said they would like to see the cruise lines have more Coke products and not Pepsi. They're not happy with that. And enforcing the dress code. Some people will like that, some people won't. But now let me share with you number 6, which is the actual solution, at least to the chair hog situation. Or it might not be the chair hog situation necessarily, but you know, sometimes when you go to the pool and maybe you don't need the chair, a lot of people are like that. They don't necessarily need a chair, but they do need a place to put their items. So what somebody shared is an amazing solution. It is basically that cruise lines should put sort of cubbies or just a space, a place where people can actually place their items. So maybe their tote bag, their towel, their flip-flops, different things like that, maybe their key card, just a little cubby next to the pool so they don't actually have to put their items on a chair to take up an entire chair, but they can go into the pool and use a cubby. I thought it was a good idea. Number 7. Now, if you have teenagers or if you have young adults, you might be concerned about this one. It is that there's an age gap between the ages of 18 and 21. Well, for kids to know what to do in terms of activities on a cruise ship. Now, up until the age 18, of course, they're able to go to the kids club. At 21, they're able to drink and maybe to party. And those years are otherwise hard for them to make friends. Now, I do have a son who now is 22 years old, and we've definitely come across this before on cruises, and it would have really been something nice for cruise lines to have something that wasn't necessarily supervised, but something that was a little bit animated for that age group, I do think would be something really nice. Number 8, better pricing and better cabin options for solo cruisers. There are a lot of people that for different reasons are cruising on their own and they do need their own cabin. And while there are a few solo cabins on some cruise ships, this is definitely not the norm across the board. And what a lot of people are saying is they'd like to have some different options where they don't necessarily have to pay for double occupancy. So some lower price cabins for single cruisers. Now, I know sometimes there are actually some better prices for solo cruisers, but I do think that it would be nice for there to be a way, maybe on the cruise line website or something, for solo cruisers to be able to like check off a box or something like that, that they could actually see any of those solo discounts, any of those specials, that they could see that a little bit more easily. Number 9 has to do with cruise food. So starting with the main dining room, a lot of people who've cruised over the last few months or over the last year have noticed a decline in the quality of the food in the main dining room. Perhaps that just has to do with supply issues and other things like that, but it is something that people said they do wish cruise lines would improve upon. Something else I think really is very important is that a lot of people did comment that they would like to see more vegetarian and more vegan options, not only in the main dining room, but in the buffet for all of the different meals. And I definitely think that this is a way that a lot of people are choosing to eat right now. And I do think some additions in that area would be something very good for the cruise lines to do. Now, when it comes to food options, people would like to see more late night food options. So after 10 p.m., people do want to see some options for after the shows or after the club. Now, I have one more and then I have a little bit of a bonus. So number 10, the drink packages. People would like to see that they do not have to necessarily buy a drink package for both people in the cabin. Now, personally, I do think I know why the cruise lines do this. So they don't really want people to share, but from the point of view of the cruiser, they don't really want to do this. Sometimes one person drinks more, the other person drinks less, and it really isn't the best value for them. Now, of course, when it comes to any of those perks on the different cruise lines, you do need to get the perks for both people in the cabin. Okay, so here's the bonus. I did leave it as a little bit of a bonus just because I think there are circumstances for it. So I think we have to be understanding about that. But people would like to see a lot of those things that were taken away temporarily through the restart. Well, because of the pandemic, people would like to see these come back. So these include some of the behind the scenes tours. They include some of the different parties that were on board. People would like to see all of those fun cruise things that they always enjoyed. They love to see these come back to cruise ships. Now, I know if you're watching this video that you love cruising as much as me, so this video is in no way meant to be negative. However, we all know that cruising does change, things evolve. So this, I think, is just an opportunity for us to say, as cruisers, what are some of the things that we would like to see change and improve. Now, I would love to hear from you. Please let me know your thoughts, what you agree with, what you disagree with down in the comments below this video. I hope that you did enjoy this video. If you did, please do give it a big thumbs up and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Bye for now and happy cruising.